Welcome to Master 2255 English Phrasal Verbs, complete course with 150 categories for fluency. This course is your ultimate resource for mastering phrasal verbs. Today, we're diving into the 28th category, Teaching and Education Phrasal Verbs. Speak like a pro. These verbs are essential for discussing learning, teaching, and classroom activities. Let's begin. First, let's start with handout. This phrasal verb means to distribute materials like papers or assignments. For example, the teacher handed out worksheets to the students, or she's handing out flyers for the upcoming event. Next is take in. This refers to absorbing or understanding information. You might say, it's a lot of information to take in during one lesson, or he took in the new concepts quickly. Fill in means to complete missing information, often in forms or assignments. For instance, please fill in the blanks on the worksheet, or she filled in the missing details on the chart. Check off is used when marking items as completed or verified. You could say, we checked off each student's name as they arrived, or he checked off all the tasks on his to-do list. Brush up on refers to revising or refreshing knowledge. For example, I need to brush up on my grammar before the exam, or she's brushing up on her teaching techniques. Keep up with means to maintain the same pace as others or stay updated. You might hear, he's struggling to keep up with the classwork, or it's hard to keep up with all the latest research. Drop out of describes leaving school or a program before completing it. For instance, he dropped out of college to start his own business, or she doesn't want to drop out of the course despite the challenges. Write down is used for noting information on paper or electronically. For example, make sure to write down the key points from the lecture, or she wrote down her ideas before presenting them. Go over means to review or examine something carefully. You could say, let's go over the answers together, or the professor went over the syllabus on the first day of class. Put off refers to delaying or postponing something. For instance, they put off the test until next week, or don't put off studying until the last minute. Breakdown is used when dividing complex information into smaller, manageable parts. For example, the teacher broke down the topic into 3 main sections, or let me break this down so it's easier to understand. Catch on describes when someone begins to understand or grasp a concept. You might say, it took a while, but he finally caught on, or the students caught on quickly to the new material. Fall behind refers to not keeping up with tasks or others. For instance, she fell behind in her homework after missing class, or try not to fall behind on your assignments. Turn in means to submit work or assignments. For example, please turn in your essays by Friday, or he turned in his project just before the deadline. Finally, take up refers to starting a new activity or focusing on something. You could say, he's taken up extra tutoring sessions to improve, or she decided to take up studying a second language. These phrasal verbs are incredibly useful for discussing teaching and education. Practice using them in conversations about learning or classroom scenarios, and they'll soon become second nature. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.